Hello there, and welcome to another Victoria 3 Developer Diary. This time we're going to be looking at construction, which is something that I've been looking forward to for a while. We've learned really early on that construction was going to take up some kind of more in-depth kind of system than it was in Victoria 2, which was a case of if you have the resources, generally concrete, bit of steel, maybe machine parts, then you could build a factory. It didn't take any constructors, it was basically just kind of hand-waved away. But now we're going to get something along the lines of, construction workers, a pop type of people that are going to actually work on construction in and of itself, which is, kind of cool. It's kind of interesting. But first we'll have a look at the Twitter teaser that was released yesterday, although I guess, it was yesterday for you guys. I'm going to have a look at that first, because it is interesting. We have Birmingham here. It is known as the first manufacturing town in the world by the 19th century. It would have been developed into an industrial hub of factories and construction that, in a way, would become one of the most important cities of the British Empire. And right now in Britain, it is seen as that funny city with the bad accent and the crime. One of the worst accents in Britain, I think it's fair to say. Not the worst. That honour goes to the Geordies of Newcastle. But it's up there. Brummie is it's a whole thing. But before we get onto the dev diary itself, the artwork. It's been a while since we've actually had some new artwork being shown off in one of the dev diaries. So it is, of course, nice to see it back again. And it's fine. It's decent. I like it. But let's have a look at the dev diary, shall we? Construction. Hello and welcome to another Victoria 3 Developer Diary. Today we'll be returning to more mechanics-oriented dev diaries, thank God. Starting out with a very important mechanic for the economic development of your 19th century nation, the construction of new buildings. Construction in strategy games tends to follow a pretty typical formula. You save up money, you order a construction, and you pay a lump sum cost, wait some time, and the new building pops into existence. As mentioned in Dev Diary 12, and bear in mind this is Dev Diary 36, the vast majority of expenses in Victoria 3 are not lump sum costs but applied over time as part of your national budget. So how does it work instead? To answer that, there's a few concepts we need to cover, namely construction capacity, the construction sector, and the construction queue. Let's start with construction capacity, which is actually just named construction in-game, but we're calling it construction capacity here to differentiate it from the overall concept of building things. Hopefully people don't get it confused with, the capacities that are in the game. Maybe that is something that may be an issue, or maybe it does work just like the other capacities, and therefore there'd be no issue whatsoever. It is a countrywide value of your nation's overall ability to make progress on new buildings in a single week. For example, if your country produces a total of 100 construction and a new textile mill costs 300 construction, you'd expect to be able to build that textile mill in a total of 3 weeks. However, it's a little more complicated than that, I would hope so, as we'll see below when we explain the construction queue. With the construction sectors present in Lower Egypt, Matru, Sinai, and Palestine, the Egypt in this screenshot generates a respectable amount of construction for the early game, though their finances may struggle a bit to fund it all. So they got 45.8 construction capacity, and you can see where it's coming from, the construction sector in the various areas, and there's a base value as well, so you're never going to be stuck not being able to build anything. That's fair. So how do you produce construction? This is where the construction sector comes in. All countries get a tiny amount of free construction capacity to ensure you're never stuck in a situation where you need construction capacity to expand your construction sector, but need a construction sector to get construction capacity. Makes sense. This amount is woefully small though, and wholly insufficient even for a small nation. So if you're not planning to run a subsistence economy long term, you'll definitely need to invest in a proper construction sector by building more construction sector buildings in your states. Mechanically speaking, the construction sector is a type of government building which employs people and uses goods to output construction capacity with a variety of different production methods, ranging from simple wooden buildings to modern arc-welded steel and glass structures. It does work a little bit differently though. in that the amount of goods used by the construction sector each week depend on the actual need for construction capacity. If your country is producing a total of 500, I'm just going to call it construction because it's getting annoying saying capacity all the time. If you're producing a total of 500 construction but only need 250 for ongoing projects that week, the total usage of goods in the construction sector is cut in half, though you still have to pay the wages of all the pops employed there. Okay, that makes sense. No, nothing too worrisome there. More advanced methods of construction are expensive and require complex goods, but you'll find it difficult to build up a true industrialized economy without them. Alright, so stuff like fabric, wood, that kind of thing, steel, we got glass in there, various tools, and the different types of labor as well. Engineers, laborers, machinists, bureaucrats, I want to say. Yeah, bureaucrats. And obviously tools as well being a thing. Okay, cool. I quite like that concept. Quite like the concept of buildings requiring different goods instead of just money. Like, that's... I mean, obviously... The factories in Victoria 3 also required goods to build, like I said, concrete and machine parts and steel, that kind of thing. But things like, tools and wood and stuff, and the more advanced buildings you build, you need better goods for it. It's a cool concept. I quite like it. Ultimately, what this means is that how fast you can build things depends entirely on how much money, goods, and research you're willing to throw into your construction sector. Having only a handful of construction sector buildings using only wood and fabric will certainly be cheaper and easier than building up a sprawling construction sector using steel-framed buildings, but will naturally limit your ability to industrialize your nation. Alright, so then how does construction capacity actually turn into finished buildings? It's where the construction queue comes in. Each country has a nationwide construction queue, each project in the queue corresponding to building a single level of building in a specific state. For example, a construction queue in Sweden might look like this. All numbers are examples. So we got expand the government administration in Svealand, 250 out of 300, sure. Expand the fishing wharves in Norrland, twice. Rye farms, ports, cool. So this okay, so it... Don't like it. 180 out of 180 remaining. See, when I see 180 out of 180, I'm assuming immediately it's done. This is not the case. It counts down to 0. No, I don't like. This looks like it's almost done. No, there's only 50 construction capacity been used so far. This looks like it's almost done. No. This needs changing. Absolutely the wrong way around. Do not like. Please change. Please change immediately. No, not liking it. Not liking that at all. Just numbers. Your numbers are the wrong way around. End of story. Each week, your produced construction capacity is allocated to projects in the queue in order of priority, with a maximum speed at which projects can proceed. So it's never possible to, say, build a Panama Canal in a single week. Wouldn't the Panama Canal come in the journal kind of stuff, rather than being a construction thing here? I don't know. Using the above construction queue as an example, let's say the maximum progress that can be made each week is 50, and Sweden is producing 112 capacity. This would mean that Project 1 and 2 would be allocated 50 construction capacity, while Project 3 would get the leftover 12, and 4 and 5 would not progress at all in that week. It would take 5 weeks for Entry 1 to finish that pace, but after only 3 weeks, Project 2 will be down to only 5 progress needed, and so most of the construction capacity allocated to it will be freed up for other projects. This also means that Project 2 will actually finish before Project 1, which is perfectly normal, as different buildings require different amounts of capacity to complete. Alright. So, the fact that it's got a maximum progress is good as well. It means that you're never going to see a case where, the thing at the top is going to take everything, absolutely all of the capacity, and then, this needs to wait until this is completed before this starts. Yeah, because that would suck. You can do multiple things at the same time. That's good to know. It's easier to build a rye farm than a shipyard. It depends how big your rye farm is, let's be honest. And it looks like you can of course change the priorities as well, which is useful. With just above 40 construction output and the help of some local construction efficiency bonuses, this country is able to make rapid progress on the wheat farms and iron mines at the top of the queue, and even get a bit of weekly extra progress on the logging of camps. Lovely. Okay. So like I said, I like this. Wait. So we've got this I don't like, but this is in text form. Does it make more sense here? Like, I guess yes. If this is what you're actually looking at, this is fine. Because you're looking at a percentage bar. You're not looking, oh, geez, it's gonna be another, you know, we're at fucking 160 out of 180. Like, that's not what you're seeing. So I'm kind of okay with that, like, entirely. If it's just like, you know, you're seeing the percentage, that's fine. The numbers up there, pure shite. These much, yeah. This is fine. This is fine. I just struggle to understand why anyone would write it like this. No, just it's the wrong way around. But yeah, this is actually in practice it looks fine. Was actually, do we see it on the previous image? No, it was hidden. Okay, so you can excuse my confusion. All right. If all this seems confusing, don't worry. Oh, I'm not confused anymore, mate. It's good. We're good. We're chill. All you need to really understand is the more construction capacity you have, the faster things go. But a large construction sector will need to be kept busy with multiple projects at once if you want to use its entire output. There's one more important factor to construction, which is a modifier called state construction efficiency that governs how effective each point of construction capacity you put into buildings in a state is. For example, a state with a plus 50% bonus to state construction efficiency, why is that phrase so hard to say, means that every construction capacity allocated to projects in that state actually results in 1.5 progress on said projects, while a malus of 50% would reduce it to 0.5 actual progress. Alright, that's actually kind of cool. You know, we have the various different state modifiers for that. Yeah, I'm okay with that. A few factors that will increase or decrease state construction efficiency are things like terrain-based state traits, such as mountains or jungles, tend to reduce state construction efficiency. Building a construction sector in a state increases the efficiency. Low market access reduces the efficiency. Okay. Makes sense. Yeah, no, I like it. I would say other things, you could probably have things like railroads increase the efficiency just by a minor amount. Although I guess that's kind of in the market access. The lack of railroads makes it less efficient, but then just it'd be nice to see, a positive part here as well, even if it was just minor. But yeah, I like that. It's a pretty good dev diary. We've got market expansion coming next week, which seems like could be an interesting one. What I will say is it's very nice to get back into talking about mechanics. There was a bit of a period there where we just had concepts and the UI and the UX one, and it was a little bit of a it felt like we were very close to some kind of release because the dregs of the dev diaries were coming out, and there's not really dregs as in not interesting, but dregs as in we've gone over all the mechanics and now we're going to show you some random other things before we release. Clearly that's not been the case. We still have mechanics to be shown, and it's nice to get back into talking about mechanics because that's what we're all kind of here for. That's what we're all interested in. But yeah, as for the mechanics of construction, yeah, it looks fine. Like, I've got no issue with it. It looks like it's a more interesting system than we have in Victoria 2. Certainly more than in CK3 or EU4, but let's be honest, that's not difficult. There's actually mechanics revolving around this, which, instantly makes it better. But yeah, I like it. It works for me, and I'd like to know what your thoughts are. So please do leave your thoughts in the comment section below. Let me know your ideas, what you like, what you dislike, and yeah, I guess I will see you guys in the next video. Bye-bye for now.